Hi everybody, welcome back to Big Fish, Little Fish on a Thursday. We're dovetailing Waireo into Cambridge Harness tonight, Craig. And an unusual one, a Sires Stakes heat for the 3-year-olds, but it's the last race of the night. Question for you, is American Dealer too good, or can BD Joe beat him?
It's a very interesting race, Michael, because I think what happens at the start will dictate what happens at the end of this race. My school of thought is General Montana may cross BD Joe at the start, and that will be the winning and losing for that horse. American Dealer is very quick out, but if you actually go back to General Montana's very first start at Alexandra Park, it got across American Dealer and galloped into the first bend. That's how quick it is away. And then last week at Auckland in the Consolation, it blasted off the gate again to find the front. I think it was hitting the footrest the whole way and over-raced. So it can really get up on the nickel. I think American Dealer is the only horse to beat Krug this season. So it suggests to me that he's, if not the second best, the third best 3-year-old in the country. I find it very difficult to tip against him.
I agree. I think if General Montana gets the front, maybe American Dealer can get the lead off him because they're racing for a place in the Sires Stakes final, so they may even be willing to hand up. I think BD Joe may be less likely to hand up. Not sure I'll take $1.40 to find out, but I'm sure plenty of people will be willing to anchor him in pick 6. By the way, that race 11 tonight's on trackside 2. Most of the card on trackside 1. It bounces to trackside 2. Not a big fan of race meetings changing channels, me personally. What do you make of a horse called Ulterior Motive, Craig? We spoke about him way back when we started doing Big Fish, Little Fish, about late May, June. Only had the one start. He was really good that day. Will he be really good tonight?
I think he'd be very, very hard to beat. He's 240 as we're recording this message, and he is the second road. He's got to go around a big field, but he looked very good. He looked very green, like he's a horse that maybe take 3 or 4 starts to learn what the racing game's all about, Michael. But I think he's a horse that wouldn't surprise me if he won 4 or 5 races very quickly, and then he shipped offshore, because I think that's probably where his future lies. Now he's a 4-year-old. There's not a lot round from Michael. So I think he's probably the horse to beat. There was probably a mare in there I thought went magnificent the other day called Ember. If you get a chance, go back and have a look at her run. She was a tragedy beaten. She's $11 in this race. The reason why, she's got a horrible draw. But I tell you what, she's racing super. And if she got a bit of luck, I wouldn't be surprised she runs in the money.
I like one tonight, Whale, at the each-way odds, and not decently each-way odds. I marked it a lot shorter. And the bookies are giving you the 6.5. They opened to Kerry Maguire in the 10th on the card.
Yeah, well, she's a mare that'll be chasing a penalty-free win, because I put the young lass, Alicia Harrison, on to drive, and she's done a really good job for Stonewall Stud in those junior drivers races before, picking up wins for the stable. She looks pretty well placed here, Michael, coming out of Auckland form. She had a workout a fortnight ago, so I couldn't have any negatives on her, and you're getting a nice each-way price. And probably what is a very, very competitive field, because Little Miss Perfect's obviously coming out of Group 1 racing last season as a 2-year-old. There's a lot of form in this race. So if you like one, back one. And I certainly wouldn't not suggest to back Kerry Maguire.
Okay, what do you like at Cambridge as we have our busy Thursday evening of racing after a busy day at Warrior?
I thought the best bet of the night for me, and as a big drop back, is Millwood Billy. I thought she was a standout in race number 6, trained by Tony Hurley. She was in the race with Mr. Fantastic last week. They burnt off the gate, Michael. The lead-up time in that race was 40.6. Anytime you break 41 for a lead-up, normally you're not there at the finish. And unfortunately, she wasn't, but she wasn't far away. The previous start was behind She's No Lady, of course, the 2-year-old of the year last season, and she was very unlucky there. Auckland form, dropping back to Cambridge form, I thought she looked very hard to beat.
Okay, anything else caught your eye? Roughies, anything we should be looking for? Maybe an under or two? Or was it a case that you're going to stick to the main bigger races tonight, and the Millwood Billy might be your go?
If I was to tip you out one at double-figure odds tonight, Michael, I really like Cruzy Mac in the standing start race, where Under the Southern Sun's a $2 favourite. He hasn't been from a stand before Under the Southern Sun, and nor is Cruzy Mac by their own admission. But he's all been a left-handed horse, Cruzy Mac. I think 2 of his 3 wins have been left-handed. I thought he's been great off the clock behind Tommy Lincoln, Bad to the Bone, and Some Do. I thought jumps into the right race, and at $11, Ben Butcher back on board. I wouldn't mind specking him on an each-way basis.
Yep, well, I thought the same thing. I picked him second in the paper this morning because I think that Under the Southern Sun will probably beat him, but yeah, agreed. No standing start form for either of them, so it's a bit of a pick and a poke. Tomorrow we'll be back to preview a huge meeting coming out of Addington. Hope you can join us then on Big Fish.